The Bloom Show. Innovate, connect, and bloom.
Welcome to the Bloom Show. We're having technical difficulties, so we're hoping that this is going to work out. But this show is brought to you by Above All Flowers Do Bloom Solutions, and I am Sahid, your host. If you are a floral supplier, a floral buyer, a supermarket buyer, a grower, anybody within the floral industry, and you want to learn more about how to connect with floral buyers, floral supermarket buyers, and how to partner with floral supermarket buyers, and today is the show for you. And why? Because today we have Deborah Zoellick of IFPA. So we're super excited to have her on board to share some personal stories as well on how buyer and supplier can work closely together to facilitate future growth, right? And mutual growth. And on top of that as well, how to strategize in pricing, cost strategies, and many more things. Again, we're very, very thankful for having you in attendance. And don't forget that this show is by the floral community for the floral community. So we do kindly ask you, if you support us, you support the show, please do subscribe. It shows us and it shows our guests that you appreciate the show. Like the show, share the show, and don't forget to comment. And if you have any questions, please feel free to dive in and chime in. So without further ado, I'm bringing onto our show, and it's a pleasure and an honor to have Deborah Zoellick on our show today at The Bloom Show. Thank you.
The Bloom Show. Innovate, connect, and bloom.
Hi, Deborah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Sorry about the it's funny. It's just a glitch. And I think it's because we're going live on Instagram that there was a glitch there. So for now, we're good. The only thing is we don't have a large audience because the live link was disconnected. But hey, the show must go on, and we'll make sure to share with everybody and get other people. And I have my team kind of sharing it around right now. So, so we'll do that. But Deborah, thank you for joining us. How are you doing today? And thank you so much for being here and giving us your time.
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to reschedule, but I feel great and I'm glad to be here. So thank you.
Phenomenal. Let me send link everywhere so that everybody knows what's up. The beautiful thing is that live is so fun because you get to be authentic and things like this happen. And it's just like, I'm not going to, fear perfection and try to make it better. Hey, we're going live, and if something happens, we roll with the punches,
That's what happens in life. Yeah.
That's it. So let's start with the questions. Again, I know of your vast experience, and I had the pleasure of meeting you at IFPA for the first time. And it was a pleasure meeting you. And I knew that I wanted to bring you on the show because you get to speak almost like bipartisan now, right? You get to speak in both sides, like not just for the buyer, not just for the seller. You get to kind of speak in this neutral position that I think it's an awesome opportunity to pick your brain.
Thank you.
So are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, great. So can you tell us a bit about your background? And also let's talk a little bit about winning Floral Market of the Year. But let's talk about your background first.
So when I got out of high school, I didn't know what to do with myself, like many people don't. And so I followed a friend off to the horticulture school in Wisconsin and got a degree in horticulture, got placed in a really nice floral shop in Milwaukee. But I decided I wanted to eat, and they didn't pay that much. So if I wanted to eat regularly, I needed to get a different job. So I went to a grocery store to become the floral manager of that little area they have.
All right.
They're union, so I got paid very well. But yeah, that got a little tiresome after a while. So I became the floral buyer at Roundy's, which is now Kroger's. And while I was there, I got called to come to Sam's Club. So I was the buyer there for a while. And then the opportunity came, actually the opportunity was like every 18 months at Walmart, the buyer would leave. They just had enough. So I had experience. So I thought, you know what? I think they need somebody with experience. So I went there and loved it because I got to do things that I wouldn't have been able to do anywhere else. You know, big company, big money.
Okay. Yeah.
That's probably why I got Floral Marketer of the Year, because I like to try to do things that were different, save money, were more sustainable, save time, and get more information. So I think that's probably why I got it. And by the way, the Floral Marketer of the Year is up for nomination. So they can go to the website and nominate somebody that they feel has done something for the industry.
Oh, wow.
And then they get picked when we make that announcement at the global show.
And how does that work? Is it just within supermarket world, or is it just within mass market world, or can it be wholesalers? Or share a little bit about that.
Anyone that's a member, but they need to do something selfless for the industry. So it's more of look what I did. It's more look what we did as an industry. They went to there's a lot of people that go to Washington to fight for GSP.
Okay.
There's lots of different things people have done. Mentors in the industry, all kinds of reasons. I think I was just loud at the meetings, and they picked me, shut me up. I don't know.
Finally, give her something.
Just give her something. Shut her up. Yeah. But please go to the website and nominate someone.
And let's talk about the GSP as well, real quick. I know that wasn't a part of the question, but how important is that to activate people to get involved in that for you?
Oh man, it's very important to be involved. It's just very hard because the government right now, and in 60 countries, I think, around the world, they're more interested in their elections than they are in the policies. And so we're having a little trouble being heard, or it has to be bundled with something else that is approved. It's just really tricky, but we have a team that's been working on it. I know there's also associations across the country that have been working on it. There's millions of dollars that are held by the government because of GSP. Mm-hmm. Millions, even millions per supplier, depending on where you're from. Yeah, that's rough. So it's 40 months. 40 months is the longest I've ever heard of it. We need to get it ratified, and then we need to get it gone. Like, do what we do in Colombia, not have GSP.
And how do they get involved? They could go to Fresh Produce, or
they can go to freshproduce.com. They can get with any of the other organizations too. There's so many of them to choose from. SAF, AFIF.
AFIF, yes, AFIF and Rodrigo Levia and Christy Bolt are very involved in that.
They're also very and she has an inside track, Christine. So that's great to know. But any organization that does floral will be there trying to fight for you. So please make your voice heard.
That's fantastic. So on to the next question. Mm-hmm. What are the current financial challenges facing mass market floral buyers and suppliers in today's landscape?
Yeah, for retailers, I would say that you need to keep your price down so that you're getting the intro customer, but know that that you can do perceived value, because quality and perceived value are the two biggest things. But perceived value is, if you put a rose in it, that's perceived value. People think roses cost the most of any flower, whether it's true or not. They feel that it's really quality. And if you have one rose in a bunch that's less stems, it will sell faster than a bouquet, a larger bouquet with no roses. So always think about perceived value. And for the supplier side, you want to support that retailer in doing that, but show her different ways, or him different ways of showing perceived value. But quality always number one. It's how you get repeat customers. And sales fixes everything. So get the sale any way you can.
Sale fixes everything, right?
And when you're in retail, sales fix all the boo-boos. So, yeah.
Who cares if it's a different color? They sold. You know? Great.
Yeah.
That's amazing. One question that it's a long question, but in your experience, how has the relationship between mass market floral buyers and suppliers evolved over the years? And what roles does financial collaboration play in this evolution?
Yeah, and when I first started, which was, when dirt was invented, there was like this, buyers had to get the cheapest price, and they kept digging and digging and getting the cheapest price. Well, in the long run, that really wrecks the competitiveness, because you can put somebody out of business. And people that will kowtow to it will actually cut corners behind the scenes, because they don't think you notice. But it is very noticeable when people cut corners, and you want to get repeat customers, because that's how your business is going to grow. It used to be also that suppliers were so anxious to get a sale that they didn't follow through with it once they got it. Like if you said you were the best at roses, and then something happened behind the scenes, everybody covered it up because they didn't think you'd figure it out. Well, it could have been sitting on the tarmac for 8 hours in Miami heat, and they should have made the decision. It's probably not going to work well for you. Instead, sending it on makes that honesty thing like kind of nil. Smart buyers know that they get what they pay for. You don't have to learn that lesson more than once in your life, because it applies to everything. $1 pair of shoes is going to get you $1 worth of shoes. So know that if it sounds cheap, it probably is. And quality is what you really go after. It makes all the difference.
The quality as well. The quality is, as you said it a couple of times, most importantly, but you have to pay for quality.
You do have to understand that quality comes at a cost. Yes. So that's why I say if it's cheaper, then there's a reason it's cheaper. So you get what you pay for.
And when it comes to COVID, and I know when you and I first spoke maybe 3-4 months ago, we talked about that a little bit and in the pandemic, and don't want to bring it back up, but you did have some experiences where you understood that you had to support your vendor as well, correct?
Yeah. So a lot of people stopped buying. They just kind of put a halt on it. Yeah. And I talked to my company and said, we can't do that, because they will go out of business and we need them. So we need to keep supporting them, buying flowers until this thing is over with. Luckily, it didn't last very long, because all of a sudden people were working at home and they couldn't get enough. So it worked out well for us in the long run. But if you have to do the right thing by the farms, because if they go, there's just less competition. So, and
a partnership is a partnership, right? You're not just there when it's convenient. You're there when it's not convenient.
The hard times, yes.
The hard times as well, And when my wife is picking up my shoes, and like, gosh, Why did I get
all different kind of partnership.
Sorry. Just thinking about the wife. So, how can industry professionals optimize their costs when procuring flowers for supermarket distribution?
There's a lot of things that people can do behind the scenes. So if I didn't think that the company I was with could actually do this, but they figured out a way to put different UPCs on different colors. If you can do that, find out what your customers want, you're going to have a lot less waste, and you're going to increase your sales, because that was brilliant. And we had double-digit increases. We couldn't get them in fast enough to find out exactly what our customers wanted.
Can you explain that though a little bit further?
So if you had a mixed box, let me just use an example of Calendiva or Calanchos. If you get a mixed box and there's 6 hot pink, 6 yellow, and 6 orange, and you don't know what's selling, you're going to keep buying that box of mixed Calancho.
Okay. Yes, because you don't know what's selling within that box. Exactly.
Yes. So now you know that the yellow is #1 seller. You can get with your grower and tell them, I want 10 yellow, and then the rest make up in the pink and orange. So now you're buying what your customers really want. So your sales will go up.
But you said something about UPCs, so I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get
the UPCs are how that stuff is rung up at the store.
Of course.
So
Okay.
that's how you get your information, or most supermarkets get
Yes.
all of their information from that.
Okay. So
And that's crucial. When you just know you're selling roses, it's great. But when you know you're selling orange roses before you're selling hot pink,
I see what you're saying.
yeah,
So within that box, no matter the style or the style of bouquet, if it's a yellow rose, you have a different UPC that says royal flush yellow, royal flush red, royal flush purple, and then you know by your UPCs that the red one is selling the most from that design. Correct?
exactly.
Cool tip.
It works brilliantly, even with bouquets, because bouquets, buyers, I've trained a lot of buyers over the years. They all like what they like. They get something in their head, and that's what they want to buy.
Yes.
And that's not necessarily what sells. So that was an eye opener for buyers. So, oh, these colors in a bouquet sell. And it was just not by colors, not by kinds of flowers, but double-digit increases.
That's amazing. Double-digit increases. You've heard it here, so try it. So Deborah, I asked that question, and you saw I propped up because for many years it's been an issue of so many different SKUs coming in from different areas, and there's no one's ever, panned it out. And so has that improved as of yet?
No, I don't think so. But IFPA does do agglomerates all the UPCs together. And if they're done correctly with a picture, they can actually get it in the right category. And then you can, as a buyer or even a supplier, you can know what's working and what's not by looking at that data. Know your strengths and weaknesses. If you think you're doing great in roses and you had like a 12% increase and the rest of the industry had a 15% increase, okay, you're not me. Maybe something's not right. And always go by units, because sales can be inflated. This one can sell it for 15, this one can sell it for 12. Exactly. But if you pay attention to the data, you can actually figure out where I need to do a deep dive. So that information is incredible. It doesn't get to the colors because not all retailers do that, but it will get you, okay, I'm lacking in mini cartons. So what the heck am I doing? Let's do a deep dive. Maybe it's the colors. Maybe it's who you're buying them from. Maybe it's the number of stems in a bunch, but you at least know and you can figure it out.
Fantastic. Great tips. I love this show. It's going great. All right. Even though, the first beginning, but hey, we're here, and please, to our audience, share the show with everybody else that missed out and is upset. Like, again, another technical difficulty, but we go live. So, roll with the punches. So let's go to the next question. We'd love to hear your insights on the latest trends shaping the floral industry and how growers and mass market can leverage these trends for success.
Okay. So the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So you want to make sure that you're capitalizing on untapped areas, because that's where the new business is going to be. And we talked about macro categories because we did a bunch of research. We talked about this at the show we just had in Miami. And we let people work through, how would you get this business? But think about things a little differently. Giving men plants and flowers, they want them. It was surveyed and they want them. So why not make that part of your program? Utilizing plants and flowers for mental wellness. Now, everybody knows that worked during the pandemic. So why are we not still making that a big point when we sell flowers? Utilizing AI so that your employees, well, first of all, you can teach your customers stuff that you wouldn't have to do personally, but also it gets your employees out of the mundane and into helping your company. They are your best asset. So make sure you use them to have your business grow. AI doesn't take away sales. It doesn't take away people. It's just meant to enhance your company. So keep that in mind. And then there's tons of micro holidays out there. And August 1st
Love
is
those.
Girlfriend's Day. And
Hey,
that one is taking off around the country. And it's girls for girls, just celebrating each other. It's girls getting flowers from their boyfriends. It's girls giving flowers to their mothers. It's just celebrating girlfriends. And then one other thing, even though people can be cheap like me, if I go into a store and I see a bunch of plants and I see one that's decorated up a little bit, or I see bouquets, and then I see one that's decorated up, upsizing. Do you want fries with that? Make sure that you're upsizing, because there are people out there that want to do something more. They just don't know what you can do until you show them. So show them how great and special you can be.
so that's amazing. And I'm writing down stuff here. Like micro holidays is something I've been pushing for so many years, because it's not just a old boss of mine used to say tres mismos gatos, like the three same cats. It's different. So you have, depending on your local area, there's different cultures, different nationalities. So can you share about how a supermarket buyer, or even how does a supplier realize that? How do you look into that and realize, oh, there's this type of community and they're buying this?
Well, the one thing that I just learned was that retailers found out by accident. They were like, why did my sales go up so much?
Yeah.
And they did some research, and it was actually social media that was talking about Girlfriend's Day, and then stores that were promoting Girlfriend's Day. And any one of those holidays out there, you can do the same thing with. It's mostly social media, in-store specials. If you didn't plan on buying anything, plan an in-store special on what you have. But remember, Lane DeVries would always put those stickers on you for International Women's Day.
Women's Day, yes. Awesome, man.
That is a great holiday now, because
Yeah.
people started doing it. So you just got to get out there and start doing stuff for the sales. They're not going to just come to your door and say, please sell me something. You have to do things a little differently to get those extra sales.
And tying in AI, just in this one question, you answered so many things that I'm excited about. So tying into AI, if you want to know micro holidays, jump on AI and ask them micro holidays in your state. That's just an example. But could you elaborate a little bit on how supermarkets and growers, or how are supermarkets using AI to improve, as you said, giving their employees more freedom, in a sense?
Well, there's a lot of calls that could be made that don't need a person to do it. It's people asking about how to take care of plants. That can be done by a computer. There's, to be honest, I don't know a lot about AI, but I do know that the Excel, people were afraid of Excel programs. People were afraid of cell phones, that are going to get cancer or something from the cell phone. The industry is changing so much, so fast, that you really need to embrace it. If you don't know how to use it, get involved and find out. You don't want to be left behind. Like the accountants that didn't take up Excel, they lost their jobs because people could do it faster and cheaper. So just get out there and figure it out, what works for you. I know it works at greenhouses a lot, interpreting like the growth of the crop and how fast and how many of these you're going to get out of it and whatever. But there's ways to use it in retail. So
and you could have it read your Excels, the 4.0. You could actually give it information and say, create an Excel for me. So instead of going one by one and creating the Excel, it'll create the Excel for you. It'll read the Excel for you. It'll tell you, it'll create formulas for you. But on top of that, there's so many other things to do with it. So
there's so much.
But I love that you brought up that point. Another question that I had, I know it's off of this, and I'm sorry, I get excited. Another question real quick is florist model, right? Has that continued to increase when it comes to supermarkets in integrating literal flower shops and wedding design when it comes to their locations?
I'm not sure I understand. The florist
the florist model, so having a literal flower shop inside of a supermarket, is that something that's truly continuing to grow? Are we seeing more of it?
So those are the most profitable stores. Just so everyone's aware, you get much more profit when you have somebody there that can upsize and talk about why things are, the way they are, answer questions. People really want somebody to say, is this easy to take care of? Please tell me. So having a full service florist, it's very labor intensive, but it does bring you a higher profit than self-service. So definitely weddings, some of them still do weddings and funerals and all kinds of everyday work. Some just went to do more self-service. So it's just what your company is willing to do. It's like the old refrigeration or non-refrigeration at Walmart. I never won. I always wanted refrigeration and they always said no. So, it's just something that it's just what your company's going to do. But the smart people realize the profit is with the full service.
That's great. That's good news, because you also sell differently to that customer as well, right? Mm-hmm. Because when it comes to a full service, they're not just buying bouquets at that time. They're buying straight boxes in bulk, correct?
Yes, some of them are, especially at like Sam's Club or BJ's. Yeah. They're looking for do-it-yourself. They call them basement Betties, I think, that want to do flowers in their basement because it's just cheaper to be a florist in your own home than to have a shop. And you get just as much business if you work it right. But those people come in and buy full boxes of things, order them to get the colors they want. But Sam's Club has definitely made a lot of money on basement Betties.
Almost like a wholesaler. Yeah.
Almost. Yeah.
So we're super excited. We have a couple comments. Sorry. So I have one from my partner, Above All Flowers. It's a comment and a question. How do you see local e-commerce integration with local mass markets as they continue to increase delivery services?
So I will tell you that I just read an article that Walmart is actually looking at combining services with florists because they're on-time deliveries. So I don't know if it's like secret, but I read it on the
no, it's
internet,
not.
so
no, back that up.
Anything. That it's a great way to get product on time, and they're like 99% on time to do that. But definitely think e-commerce is a great way for a lot of people to do it, and mass market should have a website that allows people to do that e-commerce because it's not going to go away. It's just so convenient. It's like ordering groceries at the store and having them show up at your door. Like, who wants to go to the grocery anymore? Yeah.
I think every business model needs to adapt to e-commerce one way or another.
Yes. And deliveries, yes.
If you facilitate a sale, then get involved for sure.
Yes.
So we have a shout out. Gilberto Rendon.
I know him. Hi, sweetie.
Regards to Deb from Mexico. Gilbert, thank you for chiming in. And then George Rodriguez says the UPC idea is a great idea. Loved it. Deborah will only take a 10% commission for that. So you can I'm kidding. That was a joke. That's a total joke.
It's hard to do though. So you do have to stick with it and try just one category at a time. But it does work if you can figure it out. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. And then here's a couple more questions. So could you share strategies for maintaining profitability while embracing sustainable practices within the floral industry?
So there are ways.
Is such a big buzzword now as well.
So there are ways to be sustainable without it costing extra money. There's ways of collaborating and consolidating. that fills the trucks so that when they're on the road with your stuff, I know everybody comes in on the same plane, but when it gets to the US, they go, oh, I don't want to be in the same truck with so-and-so, whatever. It's just getting from one place to another, and it's the most sustainable way. You will save money when you do that, because traveling with partial trucks is just not the answer. So there's also people that are in Europe. I heard retailers are backhauling for other retailers, which is so out there in embracing sustainability. I love it. I wish it would happen here. But AFE, American Floral Endowment, has Sustainabloom. And if you've not heard about Sustainabloom, that is amazing. So anybody can jump into being sustainable one step at a time. It's do it as you can, all broken down into smaller bites. That I think that's brilliant. What they're doing for the floral industry, they're working with FSI and the University of North Carolina, and they could use some funding if anybody wants to throw money at them, because it's great for the industry.
That is a great organization, and we, as the Bloom Together initiative, support them as of last year. So our nonprofit party, we raise funds and we donate to them and Seed Your Future. So we do encourage that very much. So another question: when it comes to selecting suppliers and managing relationships, what criteria should industry players consider to ensure a fruitful partnership? Okay,
so this is where I didn't make a lot of friends. To me, it was business. It was all business. And that if you keep it business, you're going to do much better at it, because you're not making friends along the way. It's nice that you like people that you work with, but don't feel guilty in any way that you have to keep this relationship going if it's not showing numbers like you need. If you start with the best suppliers, with the best product, you're going to be like 5 steps ahead. But if you ask a supplier, what do you do best? And they say everything, you might want to run in the other direction, because very few people do everything well. So you want to make sure that and test it to make sure the product does well. That's really important to do with a third party, so that your thoughts are out of it. Yes. Honesty is also very important. You don't want people to say, I can do this really well, and then the first time something happens, they don't call you and tell you, oh yeah, we had a problem. Yeah, I found out because the stores found out. Now it's going to take me 13 months to fix the sales in that store, because that's what happens when you disappoint people. It takes 13 months to fix it.
13 months to fix a sale when it comes to the consumer?
If the consumer isn't happy, that it will take 13 months to fix that error that happened.
Wow. So what would you tell a salesperson that's saying, I don't want to tell them that they're not getting their boxes, or tell them the truth that there might be a possibility it doesn't happen? Transparency is the best policy, right?
Yes, but suppliers can do it in a way where, okay, my product sat on the tarmac for 8 hours. I don't think your stores will have a good experience, and I don't want to put you through that. I am going to FedEx some product so that I can get it to your stores, but right now I have to short you. Okay, anytime that happens, I go, thank you. Thank you for telling me. I would rather know. And if I said, oh, send it anyway, then it's on me. But you want to make sure you know what's going on. Even with 45 DCs, I knew what was going on, and I knew when something happened, because you can tell by the sales. So wow. Don't be honest and stick with it. It's the best policy.
I agree. It hurts sometimes, but it's important to do. It's important to do. How do you foresee the impact of emerging technologies on the floral industry, financial dynamics, and what opportunities do they present for growth?
Well, we talked a little bit about that. I don't know a whole lot about AI. I just know that IFPA is embracing it to see if they can free people up to do more. It's not meant to lose employees. It's only meant to make them more valuable to your company. So please look into what you can do.
Mhm.
Embrace it, just like you did cell phones. You've all got cell phones, and that was something different. You've got to get out there and find out what it can do for you at your farm, in Miami, whatever it is. There's something that can help you with your jobs. Chat, whatever that is.
ChatGPT.
There's,
ChatGPT.
see, I told you I don't know. But that saves people hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And there's other ones as well that our applications have tapped into that. Hours and hours and hours. So there's so many things you can do with it for sure. And I'm glad that you're, even though you feel you don't know so much, you're still curious about it and not judgmental.
Yes.
Right. And that's super important to have as a mindset, is curiosity before judgment, because that allows you to explore.
When you get to my age, you realize that life is changing and you need to just embrace it and ride with it.
That's it. Ride the wave, right? Ride the tsunami. One final question before the final question. And what advice would you offer to aspiring professionals looking to make a mark in the floral industry and building fruitful supplier relationships?
So, as I mentioned before, keep it business. It's a business game. It's not a friendship game. It's a business. So the other thing, and this isn't going to make me friends either, don't accept or offer freebies. When companies, offer somebody a trip to Spain, that just comes back in your cost of goods. Believe me. When you're with a company that didn't accept anything like that, when you're getting the lowest price. So don't add costs. And I know a lot of buyers do this, but I always felt really good that I didn't take anything free from anybody, because it just made the relationship all that more business. And I set a goal for yourself. I got to where I wanted to be in life because I had a goal when I was 20, and I knew everything I did, looking back, worked towards that one goal. And if you don't have a goal, you're not going to get there. So just put one out there. If you want to be president of the United States, you might only get part way and be the vice president, but you at least had a goal. So
you got somewhere, right? Without a destination, there's no goal, right?
Yes.
So you always have a destination and some layers to get there.
Yes.
So 100%. We have a question real quick. Not a question, just a shout out again. George Rodriguez says, I'll gladly pay if I get 2-digit increase. So, I could be your manager. I mean, I'm getting you sales here. So a final question, and it's just a question that I wanted to ask, because it's something that has a lot of buzz out here, and it's been something that's been happening for like many years, and coming and going, and now it's the closest we've ever been, and that is air glades. And when I spoke to Sebastian, he said, speak to Deborah and ask her her opinion on air glades. So please share with us insight or anything you can and what you believe air glades can do for the industry.
If you don't know about air glades, you need to find out about it. It is an ingenious idea where you bring flowers in to a place that's 90 miles north of Miami. It's not going to change Miami. It's not going to take things away. It's just, you're not in the congestion that's Miami. When this airport is built, and if I was still in the buying, I would say, take my flowers to air glades. But when you get there, the plane gets there, it's going to be all encased in one place. There's no, like in Miami, it comes in, sits on tarmac till it goes in the building. Then it gets separated. It goes to PQ, ISD, whatever, all the different organizations that have to stamp it. Then it gets put on a truck, goes to the supplier. Then it gets to the supplier. They check it in, goes back to a trucking company. You've wasted 2 days with all that. With air glades, everything comes in gets separated in cold chain, gets out the door much faster because there's not that congestion. There may be someday, I hope, but they can always add on because there's lots of room in Clewiston, Florida. And that's where this is going to be. Definitely smartest thing since sliced bread.
That's, you heard it here. But how would it affect the buyer? So as a supermarket buyer, what's the benefit for you putting yourself back into those shoes? What's the benefit for you as a supermarket buyer?
Getting my flowers out of Miami faster. The trucks can only go 10 hours at a time. So normally they get to northern Florida and they have to stop.
Okay.
If you're stuck in Miami going back and forth and you're breaking cold chain, somehow it's being broken. In this facility, it's all in one. It goes through everything like clockwork. It's a beautiful situation to be. They have USDA there. They have all the different checks and balances that you're supposed to have. But you get your product on the road faster. And such a perishable item, you need all the extra days you can get. So definitely smart, very smart.
Thank you so much for that. And that's what I thought I was going to hear, because the minute I asked you, can I ask you that question? You were all over it.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
That's awesome. So, Deborah, thank you so much that we finally had this meeting. And again, pardon the technical difficulties in the start. And thank you to the audience for hanging tough. And, we got a little crowd coming in. So we do appreciate everybody that hung tough and watching. Deborah, do you have any final words? Oh, can you tell us a little bit of IFPA Atlanta?
Okay, so Atlanta's going to be a big deal. It's October 17th to the 19th.
Okay.
There are some floral booths left, not a lot, but we encourage you. There's over 20,000 people that go through those doors. We encourage you to be one of them. It's a big deal. You'll see some of the most interesting displays you're ever going to see. It's so inspiring. And there's going to be some education for floral specifically. So. Okay. Yeah, please. Hope to see you there. Yeah, especially George and Gilberto. So
we certainly will be there. Thank you for the invitation. As
Thank you.
We certainly will be there to cover as well. We'll be super excited to be there. So, Deborah, thank you so much for your time again. I truly appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you at IFPA.
Great.
Take care. Bye. Thank you. Bye. So, everybody, let me fix this real quick. This is kind of a little funny, but trying to do too many things at one time. But thank you, everybody, for joining. Really appreciate it. We have some housekeeping to share, some things that are happening along the way. Very excited to be joining Fun and Sun. The Bloom Show will be going to Fun and Sun, doing the flower couch. So we will be excited to do that with Flowers and Scents. Willie Armelini, the flower couch, will be going live. So it's a great opportunity. I think the first night, then we're doing the panel for That Flower Feeling. Again, it's the 8th September, my apologies, September 4th through September 7th. So September 4th through September 7th. And then we're going to also do the That Flower Feeling panel. And then after the Flower Feeling panel, we're going to be in the exhibit hall, where we'll be having some exhibitors show off their product for 10 minutes at a time. So really cool, exciting, kind of like Antique Roadshow meets the flower industry, but we're not selling anything. We're kind of like the Antique Roadshow. So do join. There'll be 1 in the afternoon and 2 in the evening-ish, because we are a time difference. So do join us. We would love to have you. Now, a show happening on August 13th at 1 p.m., the Bloom Show Takeover by Thomas Prince and Prince of Prince and Prince. He's going to come and share how the self-buying is a thing, right? How that self-gifting is a thing and how it's growing. So if you kept an eye on our collaboration, we're very grateful to have Thomas come on. And he's starting every 3-4 months to come in and kind of give us a review of the entire year, and especially this thing that he's caught. It's been very passionate. You even heard Deborah talk about it, about that mental health purchase. So he will be talking about that and how we can get more involved in that mental health purchase. We are having, do catch the Floral Expo 2024 booth highlights. We were invited to Floral Expo, so we are having it, and just catch it on YouTube. Find it on our channel. You could find the link. And what else are we having here? We are going to be, what is this? We are going to be at Expo Flor, and we're also having a floral calendar first. So we have some sponsorship opportunities. Obviously, this show does cost some money and time to host. So we do have some sponsorship opportunities. One of them is Expo Flor Ecuador. In October, we'll be attending. We'll have a video crew with us. So if anybody's interested in being highlighted, you spend so much money for that booth, how about making it an evergreen marketing and posting it on our show, on our channel, and we'll help promote it for you as well. So we're looking for that. So reach out to us, and you can email connect@NewBloom Solutions. Very easy. Connect, like connections, innovate, connect, and bloom at NewBloom Solutions. And then you could also, we're also doing the floral calendar. So this year we have a 2025 floral calendar where we're going to have some sponsorships. Again, email connect@NewBloom Solutions. If you'd like to be a part of that, would love to have you guys to be a part of our sponsorship calendar, sponsoring the calendar. And that's a floral calendar of all events worldwide when it comes to conventions. So if you haven't checked that out, go to our website and click on resources and click on calendar, put in your information, and you can download that calendar. And again, if you want to sponsor the calendar, reach out to us, and we'd love to have you as a sponsor. We use those funds to continue marketing and to building out the show. So truly, thank you, everybody, for showing up. We are going to repost this, and we're going to send an email as well of the show, because in the beginning, the link didn't work. So again, we truly appreciate everybody for showing up, supporting. Thank you to David Kaplan and everybody else that had some questions and chimed in. And we really, really appreciate everybody. So see you next time. Take care. Have a great one. Take care.
The Bloom Show. Innovate, connect, and bloom.